Hello everyone. Today we are going to calculate money in Leetcode Bank, which is a problem, which is the daily coding of today. So basically, what is happening here is that you have a certain number of day, which is the number of inputs n, and then from that input you are supposed to compute the total amount that has been saved in the bank. Given that the money is saved given a process that can be described as follow. Every day you are going to put like $1 plus what you put yesterday. So if today I've put $1, tomorrow I'm going to put 2, and after tomorrow I'm going to put 3, and so on. But there's a little trick. At the end of the week, I'm going to restart. That means after 7 I'm not going to put 8, but I'm going to put $1 more than what I put in the last first week. So this is the first week, I put $1 here. So at the end of this week I'm going to put 2 instead of 1. So I'm not starting back with 1, I'm starting back with 2. So this is how the thing is actually arranged. Now the goal here is to find out how many what is the total amount we are going to have at the end of the process. That means at the end of the n days. So for you to understand better of what we are doing, let's say you have 4 weeks. The first week you are going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The second week you're going to start back at 2, that is 1 plus 1, and then you are going to have the series 2, 3 until 8, and so on. And at the end of the day you are going to have the total amount of the money you need to keep. So given this process, how are we going to solve it? So my approach of solving this will be as follow. My approach of solving this will be as follow. I'll go through 2 approaches. The first one will be based on the exact description of what has been said here. So I'm going to have a counter which is going to move from 1 till 7, and once we are at 7, we are just going to restart our counter, but not with 0, but with the previous day plus 1. So that is what I'm going to implement here. So for me to implement that, the first thing I need to do is to have like a result here. My result is actually 0. I'm going to return the result here, and then now I need to have a for loop here. So I'll have the number of week. The number of week is starting at 0, and then I'll have the days which is starting at 1, right? And then I will say the end of the process is actually the day when the number of day will be equal to n. And since I'm going to restart the number of day after each week, I need to compute the total number of day a little bit different here. So I need to say week times 7 plus day. So this is the number of day. So while this is actually less or equal to n, I will say a day plus plus, because I'm incrementing my number of days. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say result plus equal to day plus week. So what I'm saying is that after each operation I need to add the number of the value of the number of day to the total sum. That means at this step I'm going to say, okay, my total sum will take the previous value that was 0 plus 1. At this step it will take the previous value plus 2, and so on. But guess what? Actually what I'm doing here is actually the same thing that I'm doing here, just that for each of those values I'm adding plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Why? Because we are on the week 2. So what you can do is that you can still keep adding the number of day, but just adding the number of week, so you can directly handle the fact that we have different value for different weeks. So that's what I'm doing here. Now the question is, how do I take care of the number of days? How do I change the value to make sure that it is actually accurate with the process? Then you're going to say, okay, if day is actually equal to 8, that means that is the beginning of a new week. You're going to say, okay, day will take 1 and week plus plus. So whenever we are hitting the end of, or whenever we are starting a new week, we are saying okay, we are going to restart the number of days, so we are still going to have 1 2 3 to 7, but we are going to increment the number of week. So that is why we are tightening the number of day and the number of week here. So let us run this and see what it gives. Everything is green. Let us submit. So we have everything green. So another approach of solving this will be based on arithmetical formula. We are going to leverage the fact that the saving process is being performed using a progression, and using that we are going to compute the value that has been saved using mathematical formula. So what will it look like? You're going to use this, which is saying that if we want to compute the sum of elements following an arithmetical formula, we can directly use the first element plus the last element times the number of elements divided by 2, and we are going to have the sum of the element. So this is what we are going to use to kind of leverage the fact of using arithmetical formula to have this solution. So what will it look like? This is our things. The first thing here is to find out what is the series, right? And then you can see that during full weeks we have like static element like this. We have 1 2 3 to 7. Now the next week we will have again the same value 1 2 3 till 7 till 8 this time, but we can transform this into the 1 2 3 until 7 plus 1 1 1 1 year, and for the third week we can transform it into the same year plus 2 2 2 2 2 year, which will always give you like the 28 for the first week plus 0, for the second week 28 plus 7, and 28 plus 14. So this can be computed with number of week times 28, which is the static value, and then here we have a series which is actually 0 7 14, which can be seen as a series of 7 times 0 1 2. So this is a series. Now that you are able to figure out this, so how do we compute this? So let me just grab you my solution. So you have to compute the number of week. We need to have the total number of week, and then we need to have the remaining days. The remaining days we are going to use it for this one. All right. So now to compute the amount saved in full days, we are going to have total full week, which is actually the 28 times number of week. That is what we said, because we have 28 28 28. And then now we are going to compute the remaining year by using the formula we just see here. That means the first element plus the last element times the number of elements divided by 2. So in this scenario, our first element is actually 0. Our last element is actually the number of week minus 1. And the number of elements is actually equal to the number of week. So that's what we are going to use here. We have our first element, which is 0. We have our last element, which is actually number of week minus 1. We have our number of element, which is actually number of week, that we are going to divide by 2. So this is the formula of computing this series. And don't forget that we put 7 in factor here, so we just need to reuse this 7 here times 7. So this is actually the formula that will help us to compute the total number of week, the total money saved during full weeks. Now we also have a total remaining. How do we compute the total remaining? So the total remaining here, we can see that is actually, for this specific case, will be 4 plus 5 plus 7, which is still kind of 1 plus 2 plus 3, because that is actually the starting pattern of saving. But depending on the week, we are going to have a certain amount that has been added. So if you have 3 weeks, that means the 4 week, each value are going to be like the normal saving plus the number of weeks. Here we are on week 4, the number of full weeks, here we are on week 4, we had 3 full weeks. That means here this one is going to have the normal one plus 3, because we had 3 full weeks, and the same here. So this is actually the series here. And for you to have the total value, you can just reuse this. The first element is 1 plus the number of weeks. The last element is actually the number of full weeks plus the number of weeks, and then that's the first element, that's the last element. So how can you solve this? You're going to say the first element is 1 plus the number of week. The last element is the remaining days. The remaining days is here, number of remaining days. So it's actually the remaining days plus the number of week, and then the number of element is actually the remaining day. So we have the first element, number of 1 plus number of week, last element, number of week plus remaining day, and the number of element is remaining day divided by 2. This is the formula. So this will actually give you the value of this. And now that you have this, you just need to return the total full plus the total remaining, which is actually this. So let us run this and see what it gives. So it's working. Really strange that I would say the big of 1 solution is performing less better than the big of n solution. So yeah, this is a way of seeing things. So I hope it was interesting for you going through this. I hope you were able to learn something. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next video. Ciao.